Go live. Okay, we are live. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Hello, everyone. We are back at it again. Another live session here in Negril. Super cloudy, overcast day. We're trying to do this outside, but the rain has been off and on, so we thought it wasn't worth the risk to kind of do it out there. And a couple weeks back, we had to set it up and break down for those of you who were here and how to keep it moving. So decided no risk and we will just shoot from in here and at least we have something, right? And we could see a little bit of the ocean out there, the sea. And you can kind of tell from hopefully from the camera here, excuse me, and see the overcast that we have going on out here. It's kind of been like this for the last, off and on for the last 4 days, I want to say. And then it's been raining in the evening time and into the early morning hours as of late. So don't know what's up with that. I guess technically we are in the rainy season, so I guess it could be expected. Anyway, hey Ocean, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you all for joining. Of course, let me know where everyone is from. I like to hear from you all and get a little bit of an understanding where you all call home. We've got a few nice articles here today lined up, mostly to do with tourism this week for whatever reason. Got to take what we can. A little bit of finance, actually, as a matter of fact, a little bit of finance, a little bit of good news as far as Jamaica finance goes. And of course, give some updates on the channel and how we are moving forward. And I think we did one shoot last week. No shoots this week because we are working on Kingston. Yes, we do have a shoot this week. I'm going to get into that lately, but priority this week definitely is getting Kingston out on time, which is going to be the first episode. It's looking good so far. The team is working hard on that video. Switch you guys back to the beach. As I was mentioning earlier, it is a bit overcast out there. A little bit overcast, but decided to bring it inside. Hey, Ocean, Donna, Jeff, welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Great meeting you as well, man. It was nice having you here. Always like, if you all are in the Negril area and you stop by Travelers, please say hello. I love meeting anybody who supports this channel at all. So even if you don't stay here, if you stay next door or wherever or down the road, it's just a pleasure to meet subscribers and the supporters of the channel, as I did with Jeff. Okay, Natural, how you doing? Welcome. Albany in the building. That's where I went to school, UA. Kingston 16 chiming in from California. Welcome to the live stream. So as usual, I'd like to hop right into it and get the articles going so we can bring everybody up to date what's happening in Jamaica. And as I mentioned earlier, this is mainly going to be about tourism, but we do have a little bit of finance updates as far as the macroeconomic status of Jamaica goes. Welcome from Miami. Long Island in the house. Hello, Gillette. Montego Bay. Nice. Welcome. Happy Sunday, Joy. All right, I'm going to pull up the first article here, and we're going to hop right into it. And so that is the director of tourism. And the article reads, thousands of airline seats for the summer. So as usual, I'm going to go ahead and post that article in the comment section so you can read along, and I will read it as well out loud. Leonie, welcome. Thanks for chiming in. All right, here we go. This was in the Western Mirror, Jamaican publication, and it was written by Noel Thompson, who is a contributor. It reads, the Jamaican tourism sector could get a well-needed cash injection with the projection of more than 700,000 airline seats coming into the island from the U.S. over the upcoming summer period. This is to the credit of the Jamaica Tourist Board's aggressive marketing strategies being undertaken in North America, its biggest market, in the most unprecedented time globally. The JTB's Deputy Director of Tourism with responsibilities for the Americas, Donnie Dawson, announced the projections during a recent virtual customer service training exercise for the island's immigration, customs, and police officers. The event was spearheaded by the JTB and is held annually since 2019, except for last year due to the lockdown. I forecast that arrivals in Jamaica will start to increase by this June. We have a healthy airline seat allocation for the summer, which is approximately 20% less in comparison to May 1st through August 31st, 2019. This averages just over 700,000 seats coming out of the U.S., Dawson asserts. Dawson said Jamaica will see 2 daily flights coming from Dallas, Texas, 2 daily flights out of Newark, New Jersey, and 4 out of Atlanta. American Airlines will provide 3 daily flights out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It is looking good. I am predicting that we are going to start seeing growth starting June 1st. It will be a gradual growth, but one that will be sustained until we return to pre-pandemic levels. We'll be promising a safe and relaxing vacation atmosphere to our visitors, and we want you to deliver on our promises, Dawson told the officers. Future looks encouraging. He said, Dawson, we are going through a very trying time now with the pandemic. However, we have to look towards the future, and the future looks encouraging. As more people get vaccinated globally, the situation will continue and revert to pre-pandemic levels. He reminded the officers that they are the first line of persons whom visitors come in contact with. You can make or break their experience. You are so crucial to what we do. It is unbelievable, but it's true. I fully understand all the headaches and stresses that you have to encounter, and we embrace you wholeheartedly. Noting that the real selling of our island begins with the tourist disembarkment, their aircraft at the airports, Dawson said. Collectively, all Jamaicans should ensure that their vacation is enjoyable and that they are satisfied. Dawson also emphasized the importance of the region's travel and tourism market to the Jamaican economy. The Caribbean is a very important market for Jamaica, as the people in the region often support our sports, carnivals, and music festivals, among other activities, he noted. He added that the Canadian and the diaspora markets are also of significant importance to Jamaica, particularly with the huge traffic that comes out of Florida, New York, and Toronto. And with brand Jamaica remaining a dominant feature in international arena, Dawson reminded the officers that Jamaicans locally and the diaspora are part of the brand. We own brand Jamaica, and it is our duty to market and sell the brand. The genuine hospitality of our Jamaican people, is the biggest selling point for us, he stated. And that is the end of the article. So that's good. That's promising news. Promising news as it relates to the tourism, short-term future tourism of Jamaica. 700,000 seats coming in for the summer. Obviously, as stated in the article, we're not where we were pre-pandemic, but we are seemingly well on our way. So fingers crossed that we have a good summer and continue to help not only the hospitality industry here in Jamaica, but also the economy as a whole in terms of getting through the recovery process, because it is definitely going to continue to take some time. But as the article stated, these are some promising signs. Got any questions or comments? Just throw them in the comment section and we can address them If not, we will be moving on to the next article. And we are sticking with tourism here. And this article's name of the article is our title: Jamaica is the Caribbean's fastest growing tourist destination. And there you see the Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the comments section so you can read along. All right, excellent. Give you guys back the view of the overcast beach that we have there. All right, this was on the Jamaica Information Services website. This was written by Garfield L. Angus. And it says Jamaica is now regarded as one of the world's fastest recovering countries and the Caribbean's fastest growing tourist destination, says Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, opening the 2022 and 2023 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, April 5th. The minister credited the achievement to the excellent tactics and policies that the government put in place to contain the coronavirus. He cited in particular our innovative resilient corridors, which cover most of the island's tourism regions and allow visitors to experience more of the country's distinctive offerings, noting that the compliance sites have been approved by the health authorities. Minister Bartlett said that since the reopening of the tourism industry in June 2020, the established procedures governing the corridors have kept both guests and workers secure, resulting in Jamaica becoming one of the most sought-after destinations. He added the United States Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, classification of Jamaica at level 1 on its COVID-19 threat level system is a further boost to the tourism sector. This is the absolute best position for any country to be in, and it puts Jamaica in an elite league with just a handful of countries globally for our very low COVID incidence rate, Mr. Bartlett said. He told the House that the ministry will continue key partnerships, especially with the Tourism Vaccination Task Force, to ensure continuation of vaccination for tourism staff, noting that 70% of workers and their families have been inoculated. Nice to know, nice to hear. And again, the comments, Janet chiming in from England, welcome. Happy Sunday. Synthwave Pro, welcome, man. Thanks for hopping on. Kianda chiming in from Maryland. Welcome. All right, we're going to continue rolling. Guys, got any questions or comments, throw them in there. I'll be more than happy to address. All right, next article, Bartlett to lead global tourism market blitz. So this was on Loop News. Let's see here. All right, this is on Loop News, and this was on at least the 24th of April, and it was written by, who was it written by? I'm not seeing an author immediately, but I always like to give credit. But I will, however, throw the article in the comments as usual. No, Philip's at the airport waiting. Are you waiting to come to Jamaica? Let me know. Tanya Russell. Hello, London to California, but moving to Porty. Good for you. Maybe one of my favorite parishes, definitely one of my favorite parts of the country for sure. Gina, welcome back. Thanks for joining. All right, let's hop into the article real quick. Let me pull this down and you can take a look at the boat and the overcast weather that we have here. All right, article is there in the comments, and I'll go ahead and read it for everybody. So, Loop News: Bartlett to lead global tourism marketing blitz. Buoyed by the Jamaican tourism industry's brisk recovery from the devastating COVID-19 fallout, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett and a team were scheduled to depart the island on Friday on a global marketing tour to boost visitor arrivals. Based upon current arrival figures, the tourism minister is projecting that this winter, closing at the end of April, is going to see in excess of 70% recovery to the tourism of Jamaica. Inclusive of cruise ship passengers, Jamaica is looking at just under 1 million visitors and earnings of about 1.5 billion US, Bartlett said. He added that bookings for summer are now looking better than pre-COVID in 2019, and we're just hitting the market, said Bartlett. The first stop for the tourism ministry's team will be the United Kingdom over this weekend, where they will be joined by Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, Olivia Grange, in promoting activities to mark Jamaica's 60th anniversary of independence. The tourism promotional team will thereafter move to New York to stimulate travel from the U.S. northeastern seaboard, inclusive of New Jersey, Connecticut, extending to Boston. And then we leave from there and we hit the new market in the Middle East. We're meeting with all the mega airlines, including Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, SAL, and we're going over to Riyadh. Sorry, I don't know. And as well to meet with King Khalid, their big aviation company, which wants to open 225 new gateways, and we want Jamaica to be in that, said Bartlett. We are speaking on Wednesday at the groundbreaking ceremony He was speaking on Wednesday at the groundbreaking ceremony for the 753-room Riu Aquarel, which is to be Riu's 7th hotel in Jamaica. We talked about that last week. Prime Minister Andrew Holness lauded Riu Hotels for investing in 7 hotels in Jamaica in 21 years, describing it as a remarkable achievement. He invited the company's chief executive officer, Carmen Riu, to explore building an 8th hotel on the South Coast, which Jamaica is developing as a different kind of tourism experience. Tourism and hospitality have become very important to us here in Jamaica, which, thanks to investments like that of the Riu family, our tourism product has become a sought-after destination in the Caribbean region, expressed Holness. Riu currently has 3,500 rooms in Jamaica and employs approximately 2,200 workers. During the COVID-19 pandemic-induced shutdown, the Riu Montego Bay and Riu Ocho Rios were refurbished, and all the chain hotels in Jamaica have since been updated, with some new services being offered. More positive news for the tourism sector. All right, continue to roll here. Any questions, comments, throw them in there. Happy Sunday, Sandra. Thank you for joining. All right. All right, next one we got. Okay, so this one isn't an article. This is actually a video that was sent to me on Instagram. And sorry if I don't reply to Instagram chats. I am trying my best to spend less time on there. I actually deleted the app, but I do want to stay in touch with you all as much as I possibly can. But this one was sent by Omar, and this is actually a video, or speech, I should say, that was given by Prime Minister Holness on the state of the, I guess, the recovery, macroeconomic recovery. So the gist of it, you guys can go ahead and watch it. I might be interrupting the live a little bit, but the gist of it and the caption reads, "Our economy is recovering much faster than we expected. In fact, Staten released new unemployment figures of 6.2%, the lowest level of unemployment in Jamaica's history." I thought that was pretty fantastic news. And he goes on to say in the speech, just use the term that Jamaica is about to take off. I think he said that actually several times, or at least more than once. that Jamaica is getting ready to take off. And it seems like Jamaica has really positioned itself to come back strong after the whole pandemic situation. And not only with things happening in tourism, which we continue, like that is the lifeblood of Jamaica, as we know. And also, like, you're seeing the hotels, the 750 room hotel. Somebody asked me where the hotel is being built. I feel like it's in Trelawney. I knew it was on the North Coast. So they're building it in Trelawney. To answer your question, who asked me that? Gizzy, you asked me where it's being built. It's being built in Trelawney. And so you're seeing these mega hotels. And here in the West, as I said, the last few weeks, we have one being built here in Westmoreland in Little Bay, which I've heard it's 2,000 rooms. I don't know if it's true. I think one article said it's 2,000 rooms. So that's happening in Westmoreland, Little Bay. And then you have another one in Hanover and Green Island. I think that's at least 1,000 rooms coming on board. So like I've been saying, like Negril is right in between both of these. And there are realtors as well. I should also let you know, I don't even know if I could say, but like there is a lot of more focus, I would say, for whatever reason, on Negril from a residential real estate perspective. And there are realtors that are starting to come and put some roots down here. And that's also like a good sign. Like when you see like realtors and the people who are going to be selling developments, homes, that sort of thing, and they're thinking about putting roots down here in Negril, you're like, all right, this is a great sign, in combination with everything that we're seeing with all these positive macroeconomic data. And the Prime Minister's speech really speak to that as well. So I thought that was pretty relevant. And whenever you have a chance, you can go ahead and watch that short 3-minute video or 3-minute speech from the Prime Minister, which was a clip of a longer speech. All right, I think we're going to move on to Negril. Let me hop into the comments right here. Pat chiming in from Jersey, welcome. And Susan says, I hope he's correct in his statement about Jamaica coming back stronger than before. However, let's not forget the imminent threats to our natural resources. Good point. Especially global warming. You know, I don't know how everybody feels about this, but this is like kind of what I think. Like when we look at the U.S. and what's happening specifically with Russia and Ukraine, part of President Biden agenda coming into his presidency was to focus on renewable energy and get the U.S. off of oil. And now because of everything happening with Russia, they're pulling oil reserves and also ramping up oil production in the U.S., which is the exact opposite of what he's trying to do. But I understand why. And of course, we don't want to support what's happening in Ukraine and support Russia by any means. But on the bigger picture, bigger scale, you know, scientists say that we have to bring our CO2 emissions down by 2030 globally. That is not just the U.S., but U.S. is a major contributor. And by committing to producing more oil, releasing oil reserves, like I'm just thinking, like, man, are we still able to hit that metric, so to speak? Because from what I understand, like that's basically a red line. It's like once we're past emission, like if we're unable to bring down the emissions by 2030, then the temperature of the earth is basically, there's nothing that we can do as humans to bring it back down to a level that's manageable. And there's just going to be some long-term consequences of that. And it's going to affect, my whole point in saying that, it's going to affect island nations first more than anything else. You know, we are going to have the more severe weather systems. Our beaches are going to continue to be in jeopardy of being eroded, and we already have some of that happening in different parts of Jamaica. Hellshire Beach is a good example. We have I've had a net beach loss as well here in Negril. So it's these things that I think about when, and I think you brought up a good point, Susan, in talking about the natural resources, and I will also throw the environment in there. So this is something that I am concerned about as well. So thank you for your comment. Thank you for bringing that up. Scotty Bemis says, welcome back. Thank you for joining. Happy Sunday, Throp. I promise not to comment too much this week as a real estate agent, and I can't for the RE series. Can't wait for the RE series. Cool. Also, don't forget the video you promised showing how to edit your videos. I did. I promised the video to show how I edit my videos. I can do that if you're interested. I'd be more than happy to share. I didn't think anybody would be interested in that side of it. I love editing. I love filmmaking, and I'd be more than happy to share my process if that's something people are interested in. But let me know if there's anybody else who wants to see how I edit and even how we film things. We have a lot of behind the scenes BTS footage as well from various different locations and shoots that we've done together. So I'd be more than happy to share. Tania Russell says, how long have you been living in JA and why did you leave the US? Good question. So I left, I will have been here in June of this year. I will have been here 16 years, which is crazy. My 20-year high school reunion is this summer in July, which is insane. It feels like I was in high school yesterday. But anyway, I basically moved down here in summer 2006, June 2006. After undergrad, graduated from University of Albany in May of 2006, and then decided to move down here to join my family's business, which is where we are here, Travelers Beach Resort, and to go into working with my father to learn the ropes of the business. I did that for 4 years, then went to grad school, went to business school in Boston at Babson, did that for a year. And then after I graduated, my father retired from the business, and me and my two younger brothers, Winfield and Wingate, we took over the hotel officially from our dad, and we have pretty much been running it ever since. My youngest brother, Wingate, he took over from me being at the helm in 2017 as the head of operations. Basically, he runs a ship, and he's been running the ship ever since. Navigated us, the company, through the toughest times and toughest parts of COVID, and that's how I ended up here. So I continue to live here, and my roots are here. I do go back and forth to New York fairly often, of course, COVID aside, but I'm actually supposed to be there like this week. I was supposed to run Boston on last Monday, but injured my knee and had to pull out. But I will be coming up to New York next month. I'm running the Brooklyn half. If anybody's going to be in New York on the 21st, I believe, the 21st of May, that's when the Brooklyn half is, Brooklyn Half Marathon, which is the biggest half marathon in the world, definitely in the US. It might be the biggest half marathon in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So that's next time I'll be in New York. And if you want to come out and cheer, as I get closer, I'll definitely post more about that. But looking forward to running that race and hopefully having full fitness. And yeah, that's why I'm here and how I ended up here, and continue to enjoy life down here in Jamaica. Thank you for the question. Yeah, 16 years. I can't believe it either. Dizzy says, "Are you guys planning on expanding Travelers?" Yeah, we do have plans. We're actually going to be doing fingers crossed everything works out. We're going to be doing a big refurbishing project at the end of this year. Hopefully it works out, financing, time-wise, logistics, etc., everything like that. And yeah, we are definitely looking to do something at some point. So we're in the beginning brainstorming phase of that, and hopefully we can make some headway on the next version, our iteration of of travelers as far as the product goes. Thank you for the question. Sharon says, gosh, from 2006 living in Jamaica, you've done well, my brother. Hats off to you. Thank you. Tania says, wow, very cool. 16 years. That's how long I've been in the US for. My aunt wants me to do Airbnb in Porty. I did Airbnb in Los Angeles, which I recently sold. Now I'm looking to buy in Porty. I think that's a good venture to go into, because that's also becoming a very popular and sought after location. It's one of the, up and coming tourism towns that people are starting to invest in. Actually, major investment is happening over there. It's not quite developed and matured as a tourism product, but I love it that way. Like I said earlier, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the island. Super, super untouched, super, super green, very beautiful place. Everywhere is like a postcard, as a matter of fact. And a lot of guests, I could tell you a lot of guests from who stay here, travelers. We have a lot of guests who travel all around the island. And one of the main places that they want to go to is Porty. And most of the time they do stay in Airbnbs. So I think you're making a good move in that. I don't know what the volume is like, but I could tell you there is high interest from just what I'm seeing and hearing, even just from people who come and pass through travelers. So I think that's a great move on your part. All right. Thanks for the comments, everyone. I'm going to move on to, I think we got 2 more articles. All right. So this one, these last 2 are Negril focused, Negril centric. So this one is cannabis themed honeymoon in Jamaica. Anyone? Negril Resort partners on weed wedding raffle. All right, let me get the article and throw it in the comments. All right, this was in Loop News. And I threw it in the comments there if you want to read along. And this was posted April 20th. It says Negril-based hotel Blue Skies Beach Resort has partnered with Ganja Vacations and Cannabis Wedding Expo to treat one lucky couple to a cannabis-themed vacation or honeymoon. The campaign branded the Jamaica Lovebird giveaway is offering the selected couple a stay of 4 days and 3 nights at a new boutique hotel in Jamaica. According to a release, the package includes accommodation, airport transfers, and a variety of cannabis experiences that Ganja Vacation says guarantee a fabulous, cybernetic, pleasure-filled experience, ideal for honeymoon or romantic getaway in the destination island famous for its ganja cultivation. The release said the campaign also serves to boost the business of cannabis-themed vacation packages on the island. Ganja Vacations is a vacation portal for curated ganja experiences with a current focus on Jamaica. The portal carries information about ganja-friendly accommodations, dispensaries, tours, wellness facilities, and events, as well as exclusive vacation deals. Blue Skies Resort is one of the accommodations with which Ganja Vacations is partnering. The resort, which was conceived and created by skydiving enthusiasts, allows guests to smoke on property, and it also offers guest tours of local Negril herb houses, commercial ganja farms, and sacred ganja farms. Edibles are also available on request, the release said. Ganja Vacations is very excited to enter into this collaboration with Cannabis Wedding Expo. We have high hopes for the future cannabis weddings and foresee substantial growth as more and more weed-loving couples choose to incorporate cannabis into their nuptials. CEO of Ganja Vacations, Norman L. Lawrence, said in the joint press release. The giveaway is open to adults over the age of 21, midnight of November 17th, 2022, and completion of entry form accessible. And they give the website is all that is required to participate. The grand prize winner of the Lovebird giveaway will be announced on or about December 16, 2022, the release said. All entrants can earn additional chances to to win by referring friends or posting on social media the release added. In addition to the grand prize, all entrants will be granted a discount of 15% on the purchase of any vacation package on Ganja Vacations website through February 14th, 2023. Interesting. So this is another, I know we seldom talk about the cannabis industry here in Jamaica, and it's still very much in its infancy. And this is just another example of marrying tourism and cannabis together. And this hotel, which is here in Negril, Blue Skies, which is maybe just under a mile up the road from Travelers. As the article said, they're a pretty new hotel. I don't know what their rooms are like, but their restaurant is very nice. It's on the beach, good food. I've eaten there a few times, as a matter of fact. But definitely, welcoming a new property to Negril, and they're obviously thinking out the box in terms of their marketing and doing this giveaway. But again, another example of using cannabis to market Jamaica and attract a specific type of clientele to the island. All right, into the comments real quick. Pat says, I'm hoping to visit Jamaica in a few months. I've been in the U.S. for over 40 years, and I'm thinking of retiring in Jamaica. Awesome. I hope you come to Negril, Pat, and at least consider Negril as one of those locations. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for, but Jamaica has a lot to offer, as you well know, and probably has changed a lot since being in the U.S. for 40 years. Alfonso, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Thanks for hopping in. Says Throp, I heard you said in your last vlog what's driving these investments in Jamaica. Throp, Jamaica is turning into a trading hub, not just for the Americas, but for the world. I could see that. And you'll see in the video we're working on for the Kingston Jamaica real estate, the first episode, which is coming out on Saturday, 6 p.m. Jamaican time, 7 p.m. Northeast time next week. Noel Phillips, who's the realtor we start the series with and start talking with, he gives so much, man, just a really, talk about an informed dude. He's done spent a lot of time in New York and abroad, and so he understands the market from like a multitude of perspectives, and I really appreciated that. I guess I'm a little biased being a New Yorker, but at the same time, I think for people who are living abroad and who are thinking about investing in Jamaican real estate, it's like the examples and basically the examples that he gives, it's easy to relate. And he gives a lot of insight into exactly what you're saying, Alfonso. And so definitely excited to share that with you all. Tania says, Porty has gotten a lot more tourists and foreigners. I went in 92 as a kid, and locals used to shout out English when they'd see me. Now they don't bother saying anything because there's more foreigners. I believe that. Headley 70 says, same here, Pat. My husband left Jamaica in 1993. We are planning to retire in the next 5 to 7 years. Awesome. Love to see this. Love to hear this. I hope the channel and its videos are assisting in providing relevant and accurate information to hopefully help you along your journey in any way. Afonso says, Jamaica will be the Singapore of this region, or even better. I really advise you to pay attention to the House Parliament briefing so you can better inform the public. Yeah, you keep telling me that, and I still haven't done that yet, man. I will. You keep telling me that, and I'm going to take your advice on that. And it's like, just you telling me these comments and saying this is like, it's something is moving. And I knew that they were trying to make Jamaica into a logistics hub like many years ago, and like you rightfully said, trying to become Singapore of the West. And from what you're alluding to in these comments, that we're slowly starting to head in that direction. So amazing to hear, man. Yeah, I do want to start paying attention to these briefings, as you said. Hey, Denise, welcome from Toronto. Noel, what's up, man? This is who I was talking about. So he's in the comments. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Susan says one of the reasons we are having the erosion in Hellshire Beach is due to overfishing of the parrotfish, which are responsible for building and sustaining the coral reef. Therefore, and it cuts off. Sorry. Therefore, we can't see the end. But yeah, that's, and I mentioned this before. Like, somebody asked me a few weeks ago, what is contributing to the erosion that we have here in Negril? And it's exactly that. It's the overfishing, particularly the parrotfish. I think they should stop fishing those fish at this point. It doesn't. There's so many other fish that we can eat, and it's not like we're overrun as far as I know. Like, it's not like an invasive species like the lionfish. Sorry. So it's like, man, and it might be too late for Hellshire Beach, but I definitely wouldn't want something of that nature happening in the grill. Like I said before, we have a net loss over the last 20 or 30 years, I believe, due to the various reasons I explained in previous lives, and one of them being overfishing, unfortunately. Matho, thank you so much for the $5, man. Really appreciate that. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but thank you very much. I heard you mention something about a conference. Could you elaborate more? Thanks. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to pull up the website right now. I'm doing a conference in November, and essentially I would consider it in the comments. I would consider it an investment conference, I should say, not even type. But it's specifically geared towards somebody who is considering moving to Jamaica or moving back to Jamaica. And the makeup of the people, or the guests who are going to be having there, the panelists I'm going to be having there, are going to be former guests of my podcast. And with that, and I have so many more lined up. So you will be getting the opportunity to sit down and to hear from people who have moved here and have gone through the process already that you may be looking to go through yourself, and getting an understanding of what their experience was like going through that process, and then also what is their lifestyle and experience now currently. And I'm trying to make it as various as possible in terms of where people are moving from, their age, their sex, what kind of interests that they have, because I think that's also important. Because to me, it's like, I'm going to move somewhere. It's like, can I see, and I have an opportunity to speak to somebody about that who has already done what I'm trying to do. Is like, can I see myself in that person, so to speak? Are they perhaps somewhat into something that I'm into, and I could find a community that I can join because it's already established. So these are the kind of things that I'm thinking. So that's on the experiential level, if you will. And then on top of that, I've also had many guests on my podcast who are in professional services. So we've had realtors, we've had financial experts. I plan to have car dealerships, both new and used, educators, because I know there are a lot of families that are considering moving to Jamaica, and I think it's important to get an understanding of what the schooling is like. And it could be maybe a couple that don't have children yet and want to understand what the education system is like, or maybe you do have children and you might be pulling them from, say, a New York or Toronto school district, and what that is a very, very important driving factor or consideration that people may have. So I think it was important to get educators and maybe even the ministry, a representative from the Ministry of Education. So basically, and then of course we'll have bankers as well, and even somebody from immigration as well. So to understand it, like especially if you're not a Jamaican citizen or have Jamaican relatives where you might want to get your citizenship and have dual citizenship, whether it's American, Jamaican, like I do, and what that process is like, and then understanding. I even think like if you want to start a business as well, so getting somebody from the company's office of Jamaica, like even the process that I went through to register my business down here as a sole trader, that was interesting in itself, very straightforward, very easy to be honest. And so the idea behind the conference is to get and everybody is on a different part of that journey of moving to Jamaica, right? And so some people are going to be moving next year, some people are planning to do 10 years from now, and the idea behind it is to help individuals to progress down through their journey, regardless of where they are on that timeline. And I think the best way to do that is to have expert matter subject people, panelists, I should say, who come and could relay that information. So they'll not only be speaking as panelists and keynote speakers, but also you'll have an opportunity to hang out with them. I'm trying to keep this into a small group. I don't want anything over 100, to be honest. I might even keep it lower than that, as a matter of fact, because I do want it to be a very intimate and super value-driven experience. And really for people, really, again, it's also a way of people just to kind of like not only dip your toe in the water, but also to do a little bit of hand holding through the conference to help you along and progress you. We'll also be visiting different real estate opportunities. So if you're looking to buy a home that's already built, or if you're looking to buy a piece of land and then build your home, or if you're looking to do something more commercial real estate-esque, then we will also visit different pieces of property for sale, so you have an opportunity to get a better understand on the ground, boots on the ground feel of what the real estate market is like, particularly here in Negril. We won't be going outside of Negril this year for the conference. We're going to keep it close knit, and we're going to keep it here in Negril. So long story, I know, but that was just to give you a background on what the conference is about and what I'm looking to achieve during the conference, during the inaugural event. So as far as where I'm in the process and the planning process, like the website is not up. All I'm doing, the link that I put in the comments, is for me to just grab your email address and then keep you up to date as we move closer to the conference date. And of course, when the website is launched with all the information and getting understanding of all the panelists and how you can sign up, how you can book your hotel, et cetera, I will email and of course let everybody know. And I don't have a date on when the website will be up. I am working with a designer, already signed a contract with her, and we're working together on making sure the website gets out as quickly as possible. But to me, the most important thing is continuing to let you all know that this conference is definitely happening. I am working in the background of organizing and putting all the logistics together. And like I said before, doing my best to keep it into a small, intimate group. Not going to be more than 100, probably more than likely going to be less than 100 people at this point of what I'm thinking. Because again, I want it to be super value driven. And I think the smaller group we have, the more that I can give of myself and answer questions and make connections. That's another thing, is like networking and making sure I connect person A with person B, because there might be some synergies there. So long story, but I hope that answers your question, Netho. And thank you again for the donation. All right, let me hop back into the comments here. I got a bunch of them. Denise says, your accent hasn't changed at all. I'm sure you get that a lot, probably because you work in tourism, I guess. And I also go back to New York a lot, so no accent change at all. Jenizel, I think, wouldn't becoming a logistics hub require more customer-friendly banking? I looked into opening a USD account. Define customer-friendly banking. If you mean by having, getting, we talked about this, I think last week or the week before, about the length of time it can possibly take to get in and out of a bank could be long. And, I hope the banking system is working on that in general, because it does take a long time. I'm not going to say any names of banks. Susan Gordon, we should be mindful of that when enjoying your fry fish on the island, right? She's speaking about the parrotfish and the overfishing situation in Hellfire Beach, and maybe we should all start avoiding parrotfish and eat snapper instead. That's my favorite fish. Dania says YouTuber Swaggy Pond, the island is from Russia and she speaks full patois now, but she's very young and moving at a younger age. That can happen. Yeah, that's not me. Even articles that have patois in it, I'm just not gonna do it. Just not gonna do it. Tania says, love your vision. Definitely important to have all of that on your channel. Thank you very much. Headley70 says, looking forward to those guest drop. I would suggest healthcare too for those of us considering retiring there. It's a worry. Definitely. I'm sorry I missed that. Healthcare is going to be a big portion of it. We have a new hospital being built here in Negril that can't be more than not even 400 meters away from travelers. I would say close to 300 meters away from travelers. And that is something that the community is very excited about. What types of service they're going to offer, I'm not sure, but definitely we will have representatives, our representative, maybe the representative, Dr. Foster, on the podcast at some point to get further understanding of that. But yes, we will have healthcare. I'm actually planning on putting together a healthcare video on really my experience with healthcare here in Jamaica. Like I've done a bunch of different things, mostly sports injuries. Like I this is kind of give you an idea. When was the last this man? I don't remember what year this was, but anyway, playing basketball with my brothers. My brother, I was going for a layup. Brother elbowed me in my eye, split my eye open. Had to get stitches. Doctor came here, and I'm just saying this like I know price and quality of care is a concern that many people have, and so this is to kind of give you just various different examples of my personal experience, and I'm going to put together like a proper video with the analytic, not the analytics, the finances of everything, and then also how I felt that the care was. But anyway, split my eye open. Doctor came here, as a matter of fact, to the hotel, stitched me up. That was $100 US. That is. I mentioned this before. This on my most recent injury, I tore a ligament in my knee, and I had to get an MRI. That was 43,000. Somebody in the comments told me 43,000 Jamaican. Somebody in the comments told me that was about $300, if I'm not mistaken, US. That was that cost me, and I know in the US, talking about $5,000, probably $5,000 easily to get an MRI done on your knee. What else have I done? I tore a ligament in my ankle. That was another MRI. It's probably around the same price. Stitches in the back of my head. I don't remember how. That was another $100. I also had, so my knee as well. I got PRP shots in my knee, and I mean, I can't remember how much that was. I don't think that was $200 to get done. And all of this was, I would say, very, very standard medical procedures that were done. And that you could get in the US or Canada or wherever, but I mean, they would cost probably like, hundreds of percentage points more than they would cost here. And everything worked out perfectly fine. I don't even have the scar on my eye anymore. As a matter of fact, the stitches worked out perfectly okay. I know I have way more injuries. I just can't think of any right now. Oh, I also have glaucoma, and so so every month I have to get these drops to bring down the pressure in my eye because of glaucoma. So that is about 4,300. We'll call that $30 a month. I don't know how much that will cost in the US. I should look that up as well. So even I think it's also important to get an idea of the prescription cost as well. And I know that Jamaica has, as far as its health profile, and even just Black people, we have certain prescriptions that we are known to have as far as what I call it, just diseases that are related to our genes that are passed down from our parents and grandparents and so on and so forth. So those, I would say those types of prescriptions like Jamaica is very good at, because we have to be good at that sort of thing, specifically like heart disease related. And without having the prices, I would say they are relatively affordable when you compare them, especially to the United States. So I'm working on this. I'm working on getting this video out because I do want to continue to get out accurate information, and I plan to do it from the perspective of me, and then also working with a local pharmacy here, as a matter of fact, to get this pricing down and getting an understanding. So again, folks that are looking, as the question stated, Headley stated, who are looking to retire in Jamaica and who are of retirement age, and they have a need for chronic prescriptions, then you get an idea of how much is that going to cost you. And mind you, the pricing that I gave you, although I do have insurance, the pricing that I gave you was all without insurance. So you can also get insurance and get that a lot cheaper, as a matter of fact. All right, let's move along. Got loads of comments here. Show you guys the beach. Oh, somebody's standing right in the way. It's my brother, actually. I think I lost. Okay, here. Pat says New Jersey legalized went into effect on 4/20. How fitting. Talking about the use of cannabis. Susan says, I'm coming to see you soon, Throp. Can't wait to come enjoy my home. Awesome. Looking forward to having you, Susan. Marley says, regulating the fishing industry as a whole is a tough one. Our resources are already stretched too thin as it stands. Yeah. Maybe we could talk to the restaurants. How about that? Can't serve parrotfish. Instead of going to the source, so to speak, we can just go to the reseller. I don't know. Got to find some kind of workaround. That's probably easier to regulate, because just like with lobster season, it's being managed by or enforced by the fisheries ministry. I don't know, but it's a government agency. I saw that there were 2 lobster fishermen that were arrested. I forget what part of the island, because right now you can't, from April 1st to June 30th, I believe it is, there's a ban on lobster. And so we can't sell it here, right, travelers, and you can't fish for it out there in the sea, in the ocean. And so that works because like if somebody comes in here, and it could be anybody, it doesn't even have to be a government official. If somebody comes in here and sees us selling lobster, I mean, we get reported immediately. And I don't know what the fine is, but we don't even want to touch that at all. So that has worked or is working as far as I know. Pat says, yeah, definitely Negril. Awesome. Scotty Bemis says, my cousin Mario and Mark have a used car business in Sheffield. If you're looking for a person to interview, definitely. I don't know who or what kind of dealership I'm looking for, but I will keep that in mind. And Sheffield is right around the corner. Gary says, also blessed love to one and all. Your program is vital one for a lot of us. Awesome. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate the kind words. Ingrid, my desire to move back to Jamaica and live in a gated community, but I'm not sure which parish I want to relocate. I would say, like, Ingrid, like visit a few of them if you can, come down and spend a month and then maybe spend a week here, a week there. I feel like every part of Jamaica has its own little vibe, and it depends what you're looking for. It depends the type of lifestyle that you're willing. Also, so I think social circle is important as well. I think Negril is one of those places that is kind of very easy to, I think it's important to find your lane, but it's also very easy to find your lane here. But at the same time, like a negative, like we don't really have a super social scene here. Like I would say, if you were to compare it to Kingston, and what I mean by that, like different clubs and activities outside of partying and that sort of thing, we don't really have that. But Not to say that there isn't an opportunity to create clubs that might interest you, because I'm sure there will be other people who are interested in activities that you might be interested in. So hold on, I'm going to get that camera moved. Ali, can you just shift the camera that way? Because it's pointed at them. All right, yeah, just going to try and shift that camera. All right, thanks for the comment, Ingrid. Denise says, healthcare is huge. It's because of that issue why I'm thinking of coming to Jamaica for 6 months and back to Canada to keep my health card active. Yeah, I've heard this before. I think that's a good idea. I mean, I don't think for any reason don't give that up, because, you know, God forbid you need like major surgery. And there's certain surgeries that are pretty standard, I would say, that you can get done here in Jamaica. But that's just something to take into consideration. You know, I wouldn't want to give that up. If you need to be flown up to Canada, flown up to Florida, or whatever it is, I think it's important to maintain that insurance. Cat signing in from Westchester, New York, enjoying as always. I'm upset seeing the lionfish being hunted and catch almost like a sport. Well, the lionfish is an invasive species, and they don't have any natural predators in this area as far as I know, and that's why they're being hunted as sport. I've had it before. The meat is good, but they are very, very bony fish. I haven't had a lionfish in probably like 3 years, to be honest. I don't know if it's still a priority for I feel like it is, but I haven't heard that it's not. But I still don't know if it's still a priority to hunt them down. June says they should stop fishing those fish for sure. Agreed. Pat says, you are awesome, Throp. I look forward to your weekly updates. It's very much appreciated. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate that. Susan says she's listening. Natalie Holmes says, Denise, I plan to do the same from the States. One of my doctors actually presented me with an idea. Vinci for life. Thank you for chiming in, ma'am. How are you? Good to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful day, miss. Susan Gordon, I'm definitely moving back. In fact, let me see. All right, says it's like I never left. There we go. End of the comments. Noel, hey, what's up, man? Good idea about eating snapper fish instead. Thank you. Tanya says, I'm laughing at you saying I'm not going to do it regarding patois. You don't want to hear me speak patois. Trust me, Tanya. All right. The thing is, the U.S., at least the thing is, the U.S., in the U.S., a retired person would be covered by Medicare. In Jamaica, it's out of pocket, I assume. No, you can get health insurance here. You know, I have health insurance here, and it helps a lot, actually. You know, the prices are definitely cheaper than the U.S. to begin with. Then you have the insurance, and it helps a tremendous amount. It's not fully covered. And also keep in mind, Medicare is not 100%. I believe it's 80% of the cost. And then you can also get a subsidized healthcare plan to cover the 20%. I only know this because I do all the paperwork for my dad and his Medicare. So just keep that in mind. Vinci for Life says, when are you going to do a video on new and upcoming real estates in Negril? Also, I need promotion. Got you on the promotion, no problem. No problem, ma'am. As far as the upcoming video, that's going to be after the Kingston video. Sorry, just trying to adjust that camera real quick. Guyanda Salmon says, the conference sounds great. My husband is from Sav, and we will be down for the summer. I've been looking at schools for the kid. We are considering staying for good. Awesome. I'm getting a lot of inquiries about schools, just particularly here in Westmoreland and the beginning of Hanover, leaving from Westmoreland to Hanover. So that's something I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on and get a better understanding of what that is. Maybe even if there's enough interest, maybe we could set up a separate trip for parents to go and visit schools during the conference. It's just an idea that came to me. I think that might be good, and I know we can easily get access to that, especially with our relationship with schools through our nonprofit organization. Hedonistic runner, nice pace on that 19-miler this morning. Thank you, sir. He follows me on Strava. Yeah, coming back strong. Thank you. Parchment, Fanny Clump. Criminals are making life difficult for locals there. Therefore, I'm sure you can understand why retirees would have concerns about relocating there. Yeah, I can completely understand, especially what you read in the news and hear through various media outlets about certain aspects of Jamaica and certain things happening. I would say, and I always tell people, like, a lot of that stuff that's happening, it's like, it's not randomized, on the large scale. Like, of course it does, like, random stuff does happen, but not on a large scale. It's definitely something to be mindful of. I will never tell anybody, like, no, things are perfect here, it's all rainbows, butterflies, and cotton candy. Like, definitely not. But it's also important that you are aware of these things that are happening, and then also just to be conscious of kind of how you move around. Like, I don't live in fear down here. Like I said earlier, I've been here 16 years. There hasn't been a time where I feared for my life. Things do happen, but things do happen anywhere. Anywhere, anything can happen at any moment, for sure. But I think it's also important to really just, I guess said this that I had on the podcast, that it's important to know who you're associating yourself with, and to be mindful of that, and to be mindful of the circle of people that you keep around you and that you socialize with. And not everybody is here for your best interest, and I'm sure many of you who've gone through life experience know this. So I don't discount that at all, Parchment. No, discount that at all. Thank you for your comment. Ingrid says, Throb, do you know if they are building any new gated community comparable to Richmond Estates and Negril? Thanks in advance for answering my question. No, they are not. They are not doing anything of that nature at all in Negril, as far as I know. And I don't know of anything on the horizon. No, there was an article, bad memory, a few weeks ago that I read here on the live, that they are going to be building a small gated community on the beach, if I'm not mistaken, here in Negril. I'll try and find that and try to post that out, but I honestly can't remember. But I think I heard I read something of that nature, but nothing on that scale. Nothing on that scale is happening here in Negril. A great place to do something like that would be West End Negril, Deep West End, that is, past the lighthouse. I think that's a perfect location, because outside of that, there really isn't anywhere else that I can think of. Nowhere on the beach. The closest you got to that right now would be not Negril Estate, Point Village, which is on the northern part of the beach. Normally I could show you from the camera. It's like right across from the island, and that's a 14-acre property. I feel like it's definitely over 200 units there, varying from studio apartments all the way up to 3 bedrooms, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the only one that I can think of. It's an existing property, but not a new gated community. And the other one that would be comparable would be Negril, Little Bay Country Club, which is northern part of Negril. So that's even further than Point Village, like pretty much right after Salt Creek Bridge, after you go past the second Rio. That is one of the newer developments, and they have new construction happening, but they're completely sold out. So that's the only one. The other one is, and it's not in Negril. This is in Little London. I forget, West Isle. That's the name of it. West Isle actually had a subscriber come visit, and then they were looking between buying Aqueducts, which is another smaller gated community downtown Negril. So they were considering purchasing either Aqueducts or West Isle, which is in Little London. And I believe they're going to go with West Isle. So that is in, as we talked about last week, with the controversy happening with Little Bay, not Little Bay Country Club, Little Bay in Westmoreland, where there is that 2,000 room hotel development, multi-billion US dollar development that's coming. That's where West Isle is. It's near that area. And that's about 15 minutes from Negril, I'd say, from Negril roundabout, easily. So that's something to take in consideration. And also, it's, Ingrid, it's like taking consideration, like, do you want to be on the beach? Do you want to be in the mountains? I love the mountains, but I also love the beach because I love swimming. So it's a lot of these different things to take into consideration as far as what you're looking for in terms of your home. But it sounds like you want something new, which is completely understandable. Thank you for the comment and question, Ingrid. Alfonso says, Throp, with all the great news coming from the tourism industry, are you guys planning on expanding the business locally, having travelers in another parish? Not in another parish, I would say. Good question. Thank you for that, Alfonso. I wouldn't say not in another parish, probably here in the Negril. And we have property across the street. So that's where we're looking at. That's where we're looking to do any sort of expansion. It would be literally across the street from travelers, because anybody staying there would have access to the beach here, easily crossing the road. And we're lucky enough to have a crosswalk in front of the property. So it would be easy for people who are staying there to come and have access to the beach. But yes, very much interested in being a part of the progression and advancement of the tourism product that is Jamaica. Ingrid says, Thought we're coming to Jamaica next month. Are you saying we won't be able to get any lobster while we're there? That's right. Yeah, there's no lobster available. And if you do find somewhere that you can get lobster, let me know. I'm not going to snitch on anybody, but you shouldn't be buying from them. You should not be buying from them, but you shouldn't. I don't think you'll have an opportunity to get any lobster while you're here next month. Susan says MRIs are very expensive in the U.S. Yes, they definitely are. Thea says, haha, I hear you. I know you're not African American, but I cringe when I hear them speak patois. U.S. hardly hires Jamaican actors. Oh, you mean, oh my gosh, don't get me started on this. Yes. It sounds terrible. Good point. And I don't want to sound like one of these people. I don't want to sound like them. I don't want to pretend to speak a dialect that I am not good at. And that's not my native tongue, so to speak. And somebody said last week that I, speak patois, don't be ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all. I just can't. And I sound silly when I do say it, and you're going to laugh at me. So enough of the patois talk. Susan says there should be a ban on parrotfish for sure. Yes, I agree. Jackie Bramer says, where can I get more information on the conference? Sorry, I joined late. No problem. I put it in the comments. I'll throw it in the comments again. So it's there, and you can just throw your email, add your email to the list there to be kept up to date with any happenings as it relates to the conference. Denise Robinson says crime is everywhere. You have to know your circle and keep it that way. Yep, I'm the same way in New York. Same exact way in New York. Scotty Beamer. Oh, good question. Do you plan to have and raise your children in Jamaica, Throp? Honestly, I always had, and this could change. So my thought was always to have my kids here when they're younger, and then get them into school when they're like kindergarten age. Me and my brother's talking about Florida, but no offense. Florida is not one of my favorite states. They like it there. I don't like it there. I'm like born, like I love New York. I love New York. I also love my childhood that I grew up in Long Island. I have friends that I have been friends with since literally kindergarten, who are still my friends to this day. And I just love that, and I'm not saying that that can't happen here, but I kind of want a similar upbringing for my kids. So that's what I have in my head, like have them here as babies, travel around, and then again when they get into kindergarten to kind of bring them up to New York. Hopefully that's the dream, if you will. And it also depends on my partner, right? That's not a solo decision, and where they're from and who they are, I have no idea, but they're out there somewhere, and I guess we'll work on that together and come to the best decision possible as it relates to where would be best for our kids and what we have envisioned for them and what will give them the best opportunity in school as young people and then for as adults as well. So that's my answer. Getting deep there, Scotty. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. Denise says, thank you for pronouncing my name right. I have the pronunciation on both of my channels, but not everyone bothers. Oh, gotcha. Okay, no problem. Forever Haringdaj, multi-billion-dollar U.S. hotel. Yeah, that's happening in Little Bay here in Westmoreland. I believe the article said $5 billion development. I don't know if they bought all the acres, but it's hundreds of acres in the Little Bay area in Westmoreland. Susan says insurance policies are very generous in Jamaica. I can attest to that. Yes. Now he says, isn't frozen lobster okay to serve at this time? It is, if it's really frozen. But I mean, how long are you going to keep frozen lobster? I don't know anything about cooking, to be honest. So I don't know how long you can keep a lobster frozen for and it still be good. I would imagine into May, June, if the lobster was banned in April, that it's probably freezer burn and probably not going to be as fresh. So yes, you can sell frozen lobster technically, yet you are right. It's getting darker and darker out here. Rose says, hi, Throp. When you can, could you please post the contact information for your real estate agent you had on here before? Thanks. Okay, that is Margaret Edgar. Let me see if I could pull up her contact information real quick. All right, so I'm gonna throw her WhatsApp number in there. I'm only doing this because she gave me permission to do this based on, let's see, this is not, oh, there we go. That's her WhatsApp, and I'm gonna throw her email in there. Okay, it's not, okay, there we go. And yeah, feel free to contact her right there in the comments. Scotty Beamer says, so that means eventually you'll leave Jamaica? Perhaps. I don't know about leave. I mean, Jamaica is always going to be part of my life, no matter what. But I mean, so if you think about, and I'm not saying this is the best way to raise a family at all. So my dad, when he was building this hotel in the 90s and throughout the early 2000s, he spent 2 weeks in New York, 2 weeks in Jamaica. He was kind of going back and forth, building the hotel. And again, I'm not saying I want to do that, but I'm never going to lose my footing here whatsoever. So Jamaica is always going to be my home. I will always have a home here, and there will be an element of moving back and forth. But I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I think a lot of this has to do with whoever my partner is. Tania says, shout out to Long Island, my favorite band, Glassjaw from there. Cool. Never heard of Glassjaw before. Scotty Beamer says, don't mean to pry, just ask because you promote Jay heavily. No prying at all. Like I appreciate the question, but this is thought provoking as well. But that's just what I have in my head. That's just what I have in my head, and like I said, I don't plan on leaving Jamaica at any time. I will always be here. Always be here. Leonie Wallace says, I don't believe such a handsome young man like you doesn't have a partner. Who and what are you waiting for? If you know anybody, got to meet the right person, right? I think that's so important. All my friends, like most of my friends, like the childhood friends that I was telling you about, yeah, a lot of them have their kids already. I was just hanging out with a couple of my friends on Thursday. They were staying at Iberostar in Montego Bay. And it was nice, hanging out with all their kids and everything like that. And they asked me the same thing, like, yo, what are you waiting for? So it's really about finding that person, right? It's about finding that person. And so putting the intention out there, right? Putting the intention out there. And I'm sure that person will come along at some point in time and, take it from there. Taria Edwards, thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you and welcome. Susan says, I lived at Point Village for a few months and loved it. It's so beautiful there. I agree. And there's only kind of one place like that in Negril, where you have 14 acres on the beach, and it has 2 private beaches there as well. One of them is connected to here. I would say call this the 5 mile strip, as Negril is made up of Long Bay, which is 5 miles of white sand beach, and then there is Bloody Bay, which is another 2 miles, and that makes up the 7 miles of the white sand beach here in Negril. So Point Village is unique in that sense. Rose, you are welcome. She says thank you. B says, what's the best place to move to Jamaica with young children? I don't know. It depends on how you want to raise your children, right? And I'm not a parent, I'm not a parent, and I may not be the best person to answer this question. I don't have any experience. There are private schools. There are private schools in Kingston. I know a lot of international schools because there are international kids, diplomats, etc., and they have to go to certain level school, if you will. So there's that. What else would I say? There is another private school I believe it's Reading, not Montego Bay, but it's outside of Montego Bay, called Fairfield Academy. Very expensive. It's almost like college tuition. My friend was actually thinking of sending his children there, but it's very, very expensive. Like we're talking about tens of thousands of US dollars per year for tuition. But I understand it's a very, very, very good school if you can afford it. The only thing is with here, if you decide to move to Negril, it's the commute. You're talking about an hour to school, an hour back. So that's something to take into consideration. And yeah, I guess, I can't really speak to it, and I don't want to give out any false information, and I don't have a lot of experience, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I think what this discussion is telling me that it's important that we have subject matter experts on education in Jamaica, and specifically, for me, and for especially if I'm going to be talking about Negril, is that we have experts from this area. So this is duly noted. I learned something here about in this discussion. So I really appreciate your thought-provoking questions and inquiries, everybody, especially as it relates to education and raising a family here in Jamaica, specifically Negril. Metho, thank you again for a donation. Thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate that. Metho asks, is your restaurant open to the public? I'll be there next Sunday, spending the entire month. If time permits, I could stop by for a bite. Any recommendations? Yes, we are open to the public. I would say we're one of the more open, one of the more open properties, I would say, for people coming outside, locals and otherwise. So, are you staying in Negril, Metho? I have tons of recommendations for different restaurants here, and I'd be more than happy to share with you and everybody here. the live chat. So let me know if that's what you're asking, and I can start reeling off restaurant recommendations. I can start reeling off massage recommendations as well. So let me know if I don't hear back from you. I'm going to answer that from a Negril perspective as far as recommendations go, and I'll circle back to that in a second. I'm just going to get to these other comments, and we'll take it from there. He says, good-looking people have a harder time to find someone because people think they are taken. That's why I'm single. Hey, welcome to the club. We're part of the same club. Noel Phillips says, think it would be good to allow your kids to experience both cultures and grow up in both countries. I really love New York too. I'm in Brooklyn at least once every year. Yep, I agree. That's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. I do want my kids to have an international experience, a multinational experience for sure. Can you put a link to the hotel in the chat? Yeah, absolutely. 1 second. Yep, that's a link for travelers. Thank you for that. Scotty Beamer says, I agree, Denise. Y'all need to stop. All right. Susan says, the education foundation you get in Jamaica is well worth it. They will excel on the world stage. Yes, we've seen that time and time again with the education here of young people. But it's also, I have to say, like even my friend who has children in the school system here, a lot of it is also, what would I say? And I think this is true anywhere. Like it goes back to the village. It goes back to the parents. It goes back to the community. And so it's not something like you send your kids to school and you educate them. The school system educates them and that's it. Like you have to put in the work with the kids at the end of the day. And I'm obviously not speaking from the perspective of a parent, but from that of our nonprofit organization, the Negril Education Environment Trust. And we have classes here every Saturday. So I have a good understanding of what I think it takes to educate a child, and just from the experience of with the nonprofit, it's definitely more than. And I think this, like, what you have, like a mindset that you have here is that we find with some of the parents that we have and that are part of our classes is that like we send the kids to school to be educated and like our job is done. And what we try to teach them in these classes, like, no, that's just the beginning. And it really comes down to what is the time and effort that you're putting in as a parent? What are the kids being exposed to in the community? What is being reinforced at home? And that's why it's a requirement that to be part of our tablet classes and be part of our tablet course that we have here, both the parent and the student has to come, because there has to be a dual accountability. And there are many, many instances that have been documented where the child, the student, is actually holding the parent accountable for what is learned in the class, because the student goes onto their class and to their teachings and the parents go on to separate classes. And there are also classes that are combined with students and parents as well. So that's just kind of my my insight and into the education as far as the perspectives goes for educating students here on a community level. Metho says, I'll be staying at Jake's and the S Hotel most of the time. What do you recommend from your menu? Oh, for my menu. Okay. And thank you again for the $5, man. That's it. You don't need to donate anymore, man. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if you're a man, but Metho, you don't need to donate anymore. Thank you so much for the $5 and all you've donated. So from our menu, our biggest seller, our biggest seller is definitely the coconut shrimp. And that goes very well and goes off very well. And then everybody loves our chicken wings. I guess it's the seasoning. I don't know if you're like a health nut, but though I know those are two fried dishes, but those are two of our top sellers is the coconut shrimp and the chicken wings. That's awesome that you're staying on the South Coast at Jake's. I'm actually going there, not staying there. I'm going there on Friday for the for the off-road triathlon. And so I'll also mention that, and I'll also put that in the let me see if I could do this right now. I'm doing a triathlon next weekend, so we're leaving here on Friday and heading to Treasure Beach. And so it started at Jake's, as a matter of fact. And if anybody's going to be in the area, please feel free to join and cheer on or participate if you're a triathlete. And you don't have to be one person. You can be a team, and somebody could do swimming, somebody could do biking, somebody could do running. And so that's actually next Saturday. And I just put the link in the comment section there. But there is Treasure Beach is definitely one of my favorite places to visit. It's a quick getaway. I like it's like hour and a half from Negril max, and easy to get to. Super chill. Very more laid back than Negril is, believe it or not. And I think that's why I like going that way. S Hotel is cool. I like that hotel. Me and my brothers did our retreat there 2 years ago before COVID, and we had a good time there. Centrally located, and yeah. So I think you picked some very good places to stay and spend the month there, Metho. And yeah, would love to say hello and come by a hotel if you do have time to make it out here. That would be awesome. Synthwave, thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. He says, as per usual, enjoying your content, motivation, and drive. Throp, you're a true inspiration for brand Jamaica. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your kind words. Born under the clock, the full Jamaican breakfast. Just returned from my stay there last week. Thank you. Good recommendation. We do have good Jamaican breakfast. That's right. Ackee and saltfish, fried dumplings, boiled banana, boiled yam. And I think, and callaloo sometimes, and cabbage sometimes we mix it up as well. And we have good porridge as well in the morning for breakfast. So thank you for that. Great recommendation. I can't believe I forgot that. Rose said, I'm so surprised you drink Red Bull. Not judging. I'm so tired. As hedonistic runner said earlier, I did 19 miles this morning, and I'm just getting back my fitness. So I did 19 miles at a 6:10 per mile pace. So I'm getting a little bit faster and faster every week. So that's hence the Red Bull, right? All right, I think we got through all the comments. I do have 2 more articles, and thank you everyone for the donations. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Let's you're welcome. Thank you, Metho. We got 2 more articles. I think we're at one more article. Yeah, it's getting gloomy out there. It's like super dark out there. All right. Let's bring up the last article here. All right. So Jamaican model Gina White launches rum-centric bar in Negril. So we were actually at this opening and we documented it. So I'm not sure how we're going to release it. The document. So let me go ahead and throw the link in the comment section there. So if you want to read along, you can. There we go. All right, sorry, it's getting a little noisy here because it's raining outside and everybody is coming back into the restaurant. All right, let's continue. And I will take down this banner there and move you to the little bit gloomy beach that we have going on out there. It's raining. So let's read through the article quickly. And states Jamaican model Gina White launches rum-centric bar in Negril. And this was posted on Jamaicans.com. No author, it says staff writer. Here we go. Born in Kingston, Jamaica, model turned rum-centric bar owner Gina White has returned home to her roots to open Rummer's Bar on the West End in Negril, Westmoreland. Known for birthing the most popular and favored rums in the world, Jamaica will now have another place to experience world-class rums in the West End. Opening officially on 4/20, the Rum Bar features an indoor bar with a rooftop deck for private event space with a clean, white, modern aesthetic with stripes of red, green, and gold for a Rasta chic vibe. From the world-famous Appleton to Hampden's finest selection, Worthy Park's full range, and National Rums of Jamaica's Money Musk line, Gina aims to shake up the bar scene in the grill by serving eccentric rum-infused cocktails. Gina, a New York-trained mixologist, learned the game of hospitality while juggling her call times as a model in the metropolitan city. Having modeled for American Apparel and Land's End, among others, she now is aiming to make her mark on the highly competitive Jamaican bar scene. When asked what inspired the move, Gina remarked, "I moved from New York to Hawaii to be closer to nature. It was very expensive and not as welcoming as I thought island life would be. So I decided to pack up everything and move back to Jamaica and open a bar on the West End. When I saw where Hungry Lion used to be, I thought it just felt right. It's good to be home." Jamaica houses the highest number of rum bars per square mile, which makes it one of the best places in the world to sample different types of rum. What makes her rum bar stand out from the rest? Gina added, "Rum is unquestionably the most diverse spirit in the world. We hope to offer our guests an innovative new approach to rum by featuring the largest rum selection in Jamaica. Think modern Rasta theme. It's very laid back and minimalist with a pop of red, green, and gold." Rummer's Bar is located on the cliff side of the Negril, 179 West End Road, in the location where Hungry Lion used to be. So yeah, and that's Gina right there. Again, like I said, we actually went to this opening on Wednesday, which was cool. She has a lot of big plans coming up in terms of where she wants to take the product, and also she has a big kitchen. She's going to be serving food, and like the article said, different types of rum as well. And another addition to the offering that Negril has, another bar on the West End, which I think is pretty cool and welcome. And she was welcomed with open arms to the community. I can say that. All right, let's hop back into the comments. Natalie Holmes says, "Watching the skies there is make me want to nap. I'm not going to fight it." All right, have a good nap, Natalie. Yeah, it's definitely one of those days for sure. Niece Robinson says, "Can someone please start an all vegetarian style hotspot in Jamaica, or does that already exist?" I want to say hotspot. There is a vegan idol place here on the beach. I really need to get the name of this place, but I would say it's near Woodstock. If you know where Woodstock is on the beach, it's less than a mile from Travelers. And I've never eaten there, but people comes highly recommended, I'd say, and I know a lot of people like it there. I'll figure out what the name of it is and let you know. This is not the first time that I'm bringing it up, and I don't know the name of it. And we'll have to do a feature on them because that's the only other place. And then there is I think it's a vegetarian, a vegan Vietnamese place here as well. I could be wrong, but it's not very far from Travelers. Literally stone's throw. But I think that's a good business idea. There's definitely space for that in the grill. Definitely, unfortunately, we don't offer a lot of vegetarian, vegan items here, but we're actually going to be redoing our menu, and that is going to be something that we want to focus on because that is a cuisine or type of diet that people are really looking for lately that we're understanding. Pat says, got to hop off. Have a great week. Namaste. Thank you, Pat, for joining. Ingrid says, congratulations to the sister on opening of her business. Yes, definitely. Huge congrats to her. Ingrid says, this is a very good look. We definitely need more Jamaicans opening businesses in Jamaica. I agree. All right, that's the end of the comments. Okay, rain is really starting to come down. We made the best decision to move inside instead of getting up and rushing to come back in here like we did a few weeks back. Tania says, love the coconut shrimp, and I'm not even a fan of sea roaches. Is that what you call them, sea roaches? Thank you, though. All right. Okay, I don't have anything else for you all. I think the only thing I'll go through real quick would be an update on the channel, and which I think I got through most of it, to be honest. We have, so what do we have coming up? So releasing a podcast tomorrow. I did an interview with Nisha Yen Jones. I don't know if you know her. If you're local, you might. She's on TVJ. And we talked about a variety of different things. She moved from, born in here in Jamaica and Kingston, moved to the UK, started a career in the entertainment, acting, theater industry. And she's played in some big roles over there. And a few years ago, she decided to move back to Jamaica. And she has a daughter. And she was actually, I forgot, she was on, we did a Zoom, a live with her maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, as a matter of fact. So it was a very interesting conversation of her transitioning back to Jamaica. And also I got a very good understanding of the art and theater industry in Jamaica, which I do not know a lot about, as a matter of fact. And for those who might be interested, this is kind of the video for you, I would say, on multiple levels. So that is going to be released. I don't know what time tomorrow, but I feel like 6 o'clock Jamaica time, if I'm not mistaken. That's when we're going to put it for. But tomorrow, new podcast coming out. And then on Saturday, of course, we got the first episode of the Kingston series, and that will be starring Noel Phillips, who is in the comments. Thank you again, Noel, for joining. And we're going to be releasing that on Saturday at 6 p.m. Jamaican time. And it should be a fun one. It's fun editing so far. And I'm, again, excited to share that with you all. As far as production goes, as I mentioned, heading out Friday to Treasure Beach, and we'll be over there until Sunday. And I think we're going to do we are going to do the live from Treasure Beach on Sunday. So hopefully it doesn't rain, but you'll be seeing this live, YouTube live, we'll be doing in Treasure Beach. So we won't be in Negril next week. We're going to be in Treasure Beach. Hope that's okay with everyone, but kind of cool to switch it up a little bit. Outside of that, we'll have the slow release of the weekly Kingston episodes coming out over the next few weeks, which again, I'm super, super excited to release so much just stuffed with super valuable information, a lot of information that I wanted to find out for myself. And so I'm very happy to be sharing that with you all. All right, let's get back into the comments here. Allie, can you give me a bottle of water? Bottle of water? No, water. Yeah. No, cold. So just getting some water. My throat's getting a little dry here. Been talking for a little bit. John Mark says, what's your top 3 business opportunities in Jamaica? Good question. I mean, I have to say housing, real estate development for sure. That's one. And specifically here in Negril, I think that's one of the biggest opportunities that you can get into, because there is a very high need for residential accommodation, residential real estate. And we just don't have the inventory, but the demand is there. And I'm trying to quantify that demand, that understanding. And I hear it anecdotally from landlords. I hear it anecdotally from realtors here in Negril as to the demand for rental specifically being so high, specifically during the winter months. You can't get anything. And people who are leaving, say, in April, a lot of people, the snowbirds leave in early April, they already book their rooms, their apartments for next year, starting in November, December. And that's how the cycle goes. So during those months, very, very difficult, almost impossible to find rental accommodations in Negril. And so I think there is a very high demand, and not just for snowboards, I would say, but for people living here year round. I would say I would include myself in that situation as well. And I know a lot of other professionals here, and especially hospitality professionals in Negril, who are looking for accommodations, newer contemporary accommodations here in Negril that unfortunately just don't exist, or you just don't really have many options as far as that relates to that. There are people who are commuting from Lucy, as a matter of fact, which is 40 minutes. I've heard people even commuting from Montego Bay, which is crazy hour and a half commute, right, to Negril. So I think that's number one. Another opportunity, should I keep it in Negril? I mean, Negril needs so many different types of services, I would say. And it's just one of those places and towns that, and I continue to say this, we just don't have like a vision for Negril. And so there's not like, oh, we need this type of business, or we need to attract this type of investor into Negril to make it a more wholesome community, so to speak. So as it relates to, like, going back to what I was talking about, the lack of, what would I say, social opportunities as far as like different interests that you might have. Like, we don't have like any sort of like a running club. I would love a running club in Negril, but I don't have the time to organize something like that. As far as businesses go, we have to drive an hour and a half to Montego Bay to go to the movie theater. We don't have a bowling alley, a skating rink, or anything like that. Thank you to Mr. Lee Issa. He built a brand new state-of-the-art park downtown by where Hilo is currently. And I thought that was a great addition to the town. But we don't have a public park that you can bring your family to, or your kids to kind of hang out. We have Negril Beach Park, but it's locked off right now because they didn't start the development, which they were supposed to do, but it's just sitting there dormant right now. So those sort of businesses, I would say, is like a good opportunity. And then kind of outside the box, but keeping it specifically to here in Negril, I think Negril is poised to have like a startup technology company here. I think you can do one of two things. You can ship in the talent from the States or even from Kingston, but I think it's a perfect location to have some sort of IT company. The background, foundation, the fundamentals of the town are there, and it's a matter of kind of just setting up shop and then growing your business, I think it's a perfect location to do that as well. So very Negril centric in my answer, I know, but this is what I know. This is my town. This is my home, and so that's where I am asking or answering your question from that perspective. Thank you for the question, Jamrock. Appreciate it. Scotty Beamer says, yes, please bring Nisha back. Yeah, you'll see her tomorrow on the channel. Promise that. And yeah, I would love to have her come back on as a guest. We talked about a few interesting topics on the pod, and of course when she was on here and live. Susan says, I love this. Keep bringing more content to us. Thank you, Tharp. You are very welcome. He says, that's interesting. Looking forward to it. Rose says, I'm so looking forward to Kingston videos. They're coming. They're working on it. Noah says, my pleasure, Throp. Awesome. Darcy says, Throp, I'm impressed that you are promoting what I consider your competitors. Blessings to you. And I pray your business will continue on a prosperous journey. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, the way I look at it is like, I've even had competitors on my podcast, and yeah, they are my competitors. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is that a rising tide lifts all ships, and if I can contribute in any way to further promoting Negril, further promoting Jamaica, and bringing more eyeballs here, bringing more investors here, having you subscribers, viewers consider moving here, starting businesses here, raising your families here. I mean, all the better. At the end of the day, that is, bringing on my competitors and mentioning them, and just so we can get a better idea and a wider perspective on what Negril is about and what Jamaica is about. To me, that's a plus. To me, that's elevating Jamaica. To me, that's elevating Negril. At the end of the day, I'm in turn elevating myself and elevating my business. So that's like my perspective, and that's the way I looked at it. Even when I brought up the thought and I questioned it. Like I brought it up to my dad, and he's like, no, you have to bring on these companies. You have to bring on these hoteliers. And he had the same exact thought process that I did as far as bringing on hotel competitors to the podcast. And I will continue to do so. They are actually also going to be panelists at the investment expo that I have in November. And I plan, because they bring so much perspective and so much value and so much insight, so much experience to the understanding of what it is to live in Jamaica, what it is to do business here, what it is to be a hotelier, small or large. And so it's like, man, it's almost like I have no choice but to bring them on. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Dorothy. Donna said, looking forward to seeing Treasure Beach. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Love it out there. Susan says there are several vegetarian spots on the island. Yep, you're right. V asks, are there gated communities in Negril? If so, any recommendations? Yeah, there are several. There's Little Bay Country Club, which I mentioned. I did 2 videos on 2 houses that were for sale. I believe both of them sold, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. So I'm going to throw that video in the comment section so you're able to get an idea of what that is like. Let's see if I could bring it up quickly. So I'm going to send you one of them, and then you could kind of take it from there as far as figuring out as far as like getting an idea, I should say, of what a gated community is like, at least from the perspective of me documenting it. So this is on Little Bay Country Club. Here we go. And V, you can click that and watch that video when you have a chance, and it breaks down the cost of the house, the location, which is on the northern part of Negril. So that's Little Bay Country Club, northern part of Negril. Then there is Point Village, which we mentioned, which is a little further south, maybe about a mile and a half south of Little Bay Country Club. And actually 2 miles, I would say, come to think of it. And then moving further south to downtown, a new one is the Aqueducts, which is literally in the center of downtown. If you know where Scotiabank is, it's the adjacent road. I shouldn't say adjacent because there's two roads. It's across the street from Burger King, put it that way, going up a little hill. That's where Aqueducts is. Then there is Negril Estate, which is on Nampro Road, going towards Savlamar. And then there is another gated community, which is called Vista Bellas, which kind of horseshoes around Negril Estates. And both of those properties are by the land you build your house. That's how those work. But they are gated communities. Vista Bella, though, it's still in development process, so it's not gated. They don't have security, but I believe there's one house on that development right now. And they've been there for a few years, as a matter of fact. And I think those are all the gated communities. And then there are four, I guess you could call these gated communities, but there are several smaller housing unit projects. I mean, I've never been inside, but I would say just from looking at it, 10 to 20 units in these smaller complexes, and these are along the Norman Manley Boulevard on the beach, but not on the beach side. They're on the morass side. And they're much smaller developments, if you will. I don't know how much those cost and how many they are, or even what they're like. I've actually never been in them, but I run by them every day. But they look quaint. They seem like they're safe as well. They're gated, like I said. And that's as far as all the gated communities that I know of in Negril. None on the West End. Okay, this is kind of running through the Rolodex there in my head. Lenworth Lewis says, would you like to see Negril develop much like how it has been developed in Ocho Rios? If not, what parts would you like to see Negril? I like both locations. So I think there is, I mentioned this earlier, but I think there's major opportunity to develop in the West End, like the deep West End. It is so beautiful around there. I feel like I need to go around there, take my drone, and show you how beautiful the views are. There's no beach there; it's all cliffside, but the views are just magnificent. They're breathtaking. And I don't think a lot of people really know that and understand that, because there's really nothing around there. We own property around there, but it's undeveloped. It's undeveloped. A lot of people do live around there as well, but it's a bit far. It's one of those things, if you develop a small community that was self-providing, so to speak, you had a grocery store, you had this and that, that would be great. So at least you don't have to come all the way, drive to 20 minutes to downtown Negril to go to Hilo or something like that. So I think that's a really big opportunity for investment and in Negril and for development in Negril. And as far as to answer your question, what I want to see develop like Ochi, no. And I think most people, especially a long time Negrillians, I don't know what you call us, but I've been here 16 years. Most people say who lived here for a while, they don't want high density, right? And I think that continues to be the sentiment, even though, as we've stated in previous lives, that the housing ordinance has changed from the highest coconut tree in terms of how high you can build to 4 floors, and it's looking to be, for what I understand, is looking to go as high between 8 and 10 stories, as a matter of fact. And so that seems to be what's on the rise, so to speak, as far as the development of Negril goes. So thank you for your question, Lenworth. Appreciate it. Jamrock, you are welcome. Please add gluten-free to your menu. Yes, that is. I should have mentioned that before. Thank you for that, Susan. Gluten-free options will be on our menu. Linda Fraser says, my recommendation, food at Travelers, is West Indies seafood linguine or chicken cordon bleu. Good recommendations. It seems like people know my menu better than I do. Thank you, Linda. Denise says, no competition, just collaboration. I like that. I like that. When will you bring another live local performance to Throp Studios? I actually have one on deck, ready to go. And the only reason why I haven't released it, because the first one didn't do too well, but I think it was how I marketed it with the thumbnail and title. So it's very, I mean, the performers are amazing. And maybe I need to start working on that sooner rather than later. So thank you for that, Lenworth. Maybe I'll start working on that in the next few weeks and we can release that soon. But yeah, I think that's a good idea that we put that out at. Sorry about that. We lost internet for a little bit. All right, we're back. We're back. You got it back? Internet? You have internet? Love Tassie Music and Art. Thanks again for sharing. Greetings from the Dutch family in France. Hello, welcome. This Ria says, curious, what you think about those who romanticize and are nostalgic for maintaining the low-level development of yesteryear/yore in Negril, lamenting not being like the quieter Treasure Beach. No, good point, good question. So with that, we actually, so this you hit it right on the head. So the sentiment was that for a long time, and in many regards continues to be the same thing, that Negril wants to maintain low density and not going to become the next Miami, right? We don't want to be Miami. And so I think in general that continues to be the sentiment. But the development that's happening in Green Island, I understand they changed the building ordinance to go as high as 10 stories, if I'm not mistaken. And as the Negril community, we realize like that's going to probably put our property values at a disadvantage if you can only develop up to four stories. So I believe we've come to the conclusion we're okay with going up to, I believe, 8 stories. And so I think people have come around to the idea to increase the density, and that we are as a world and even as a community and as a country that's the way and direction that we're moving in. So we've decided to the fact that we'll be okay with that, but we don't want 50 stories, that sort of thing. Definitely not. That would be so weird to see a high rise in the Negril like that. So weird. It's weird seeing 4 stories, to be honest, but we don't want to go too much higher than that. All right. Let's see. Thank you for that question, Vis Ria. Donna Bryce says, I wish someone would develop a culinary tour. Lots of foodies out there, and Jamaica's food is such a melting pot. I agree. I even think we could have a culinary tour right here in Westmoreland, Negril. There's so many restaurants here, so many restaurants. Dorothy says, agreed, Throb. As a nation, we need more of these kinds of collaborative efforts to bring about networking and drive cohesiveness to improve the business model and unity amongst entrepreneurs. Great. Totally agree. Totally agree. Oh, Scotty Beamer says, my brother and I plan on doing that next year, Donna Bryce. He's a chef and a restaurateur in Atlanta. This is doing a food tour. I think that's a great idea. Great idea. Alfonso Ward says it's ridiculous Negril doesn't have a movie theater and a lot of other infrastructure to accommodate the citizens and visitors alike. Negril is one of the top 2 tourism destinations in Jamaica. It is in many regards. I think Negril is like the top destination. The only reason, I won't say the only reason, one of the main reasons why we don't are looked at or don't have that top spot is because we're an hour and a half away from Montego Bay. And I've said this before, like we kind of get taken for granted because we have this beautiful beach and this beautiful foundation. And this is just my sentiment, my opinion. I think that, and there's also a motivation for starting this channel because I felt like Negril wasn't being marketed the way that it rightfully should be. And so with that, you know, it is shameful that we don't have, I would say, these basic entertainment centers and basic businesses here in Negril. And I'm not sure what it's going to take to attract those types of businesses. But at some point, I mean, whoever does it is going to, you know, they're going to do very well. I think they're going to do very, very well. But you raise a good point. Very, very good point. Funkbringer, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Jamaican food boss does tours. So just look him up on YouTube. I will never heard of him, so I'll take a look at that. Negril should definitely benefit from the tourism enactment funds. I guess you're talking about the TEF. Yes. What I've also understood is that Negril isn't applying enough for these grants from the tourism enhancement fund. So I guess we as Negril community do have to take some responsibility for that. But I think now we're starting to understand that's what needs to happen, and we need to be more purposeful about applying for funding for different projects that we see are necessary in Negril. Thank you for that, Alfonso. Dania says, I worry about internet/power outages because I plan to take an American remote job whilst in Jamaica. I think you'll be fine. Obviously depends on where you're going to be based for sure. So I have a close friend of mine. He has an American remote job. That's his career. He's been doing it for, I want to say 7-8 years. And he's been fine. Of course, we have outages. Of course, the internet goes down, but it's important to have backup. Like the internet went down here, and like now I'm using my phone. That's what's running this right now. Hold on, is it? I think so. That's what's running the live stream right now because the internet went down. And it's like, it'll go down I could switch back, but I don't want to interrupt the broadcast. I'm sure it's back up now, but it fluctuates. But that's more of like an internal issue. We already know what it is for travelers, but for the most part, the internet is fairly stable. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but it's also, especially if your career relies on it, your job relies on the internet, definitely worth having backup. So just in case. Christine says, hello from Mike and Christine in Ontario, Canada. Really enjoy your vids drop and info on moving to Jamaica. It's something we are seriously considering every day. Awesome. Thank you for joining the live stream. Glad to hear the videos are helping. I will continue to bring the value as much as I possibly can in terms of helping whoever and wherever you are on your journey to move to Jamaica. Funkbringer says, hey, Throp, since Ocho Rios has an airport now and it's pretty close to Montego Bay, do you think Negril could get its own airport sometime in the future? That is actually something that's being pushed. If you saw or listened to the podcast that I did with Daniel Grizzle, he owns Shirella Inn down the road. That's one thing that he has been pushing for, is to get an airport for Negril. So we have a small airport, but it's like for small planes. And so he was saying that we can have a larger commercial airport on Deep West End, because there's hundreds of acres, if not thousands of acres, on Deep West End, and that's where an airport can be put, and that's where the airport was back in the day when the Pulian Lan. And so we can do that because we know we have the space there. But now it's a matter of making a push for that. And man, if Negril got that, forget about it. Forget about it, man. I don't know. I mean, we wouldn't have room for the people coming in. I mean, imagine getting a direct flight from Toronto or from New York, Baltimore, Atlanta, directly to Negril, and you're 10 minutes away from your hotel. Unstoppable tourist town. Completely unstoppable. So good question, good suggestion. Maybe that's something that we need to push for a little bit more. Donna Marie says, is there a directory for the Black-owned resorts, guest houses, etc., our website with that information? Not that I know of. I know there are. No, I don't know of. I know Capital of Casual on Facebook. They push Black-owned, local-owned businesses here in Negril, but I do not know a website that has that specifically. Country Gal says the airport in St. Mary, Boscobel. Yep. All right. I actually have to start winding down. I have a meeting that I have to get ready for in the next 20 minutes, now 19 minutes. And so I'm going to have to start winding down here. So if you have, I'll answer one or two more questions that you have, and we'll have to close off. If you have any last questions, please let me know. Visaria says, oddly enough, the internet works more reliably consistently in rural areas with lower density population than in higher density areas like Negril. There you go. Funkbringer says, do you think Negril airport development is something that would be offered on the Jamaica stock market? I would love that. That's a good idea. I mean, I guess that would have to be a private airport. I mean, I guess in Montego Bay, the MBJ airport is Sangsters, is privately owned. Or it's run by, is it Mexican, or maybe the Canadians sold it to the Mexicans? I can't remember. But it's privately ran. I know that. But yeah, that would be a good idea to bring it to the market, the public market, that is. Dania says, I wish Portland would have its own airport. That's the biggest concern for me, driving 3 hours through the mountains. It's coming. That's the thing. I already heard about this at either an airport, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, either it's a new airport or an airport is being refurbished to accommodate larger planes, if I'm not mistaken. Rose, would you consider doing a drone tour for the West End? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I would definitely do that. That's a very good idea. Excellent idea. Put that on the list. Visaria says, I was thinking that airport is mistakenly identified as being in Ochi, but it's in St. Mary as stated, Ian Fleming Airport, and it's for private jets. Thank you for the clarification. All right, I'm going to have to leave it there, everybody. I need to get ready for this meeting. Got a little over 2 hours, which is always fun. Enjoy doing this. I was feeling tired before from my long run this morning, but got that mojo back, got that second wind from talking and interacting with you all. And then also the restaurant is starting to get crowded too because it's raining outside. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Funkbringer, you are too kind. Thank you. Thank you for the red stripe money. Appreciate it. And thank you all, everyone who donated in the live stream. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's get these last comments. And hey, throw up to the person who asked about business opportunities. A good one is affordable international school around the island. There we go. As we were talking about education, I think that's a great suggestion. And Country Gal needs trains, not airports in every parish. I think that would also. I think they are trying to bring back the train system. At least they've already started in a small way. So thank you again all for your comments. Thank you for joining. This has been wonderful. I always enjoy hanging out with you all on Sundays, and we will be doing it again next Sunday, but we are going to be in Treasure Beach next Sunday, and we'll have a little bit of a different view. And I will try to do my best to kind of keep the community up to date with the triathlon and get some pictures out and that sort of thing. I want to do a better job of keeping everybody up to date throughout the week. I know sometimes I don't do that enough, but I'm going to try and make that more of a priority. And we have that to look forward to this week. And tomorrow we'll actually be releasing the podcast with Nisha Yen Jones, and looking forward to releasing that. That was a very interesting conversation, and I'm happy to share that one with you all. Thank you all for the comments. Have a great Sunday. Thank you for joining. Just throwing them up there. I will see you all in the next live next Sunday. Happy Sunday to you all. And thank you again for joining. See you next week, and see you on the pod tomorrow with Nisha Yen Jones. Peace.